to do that. Hold on. I'll be right back. Y'all don't move. All right, that's better. Let's see something here if we can kind of tweak this a little bit. All right, how's that? If I lean back, I'm too far away. Can y'all hear me from there? That's too far. That's too far away. Anyway, we're live. Got a little bit later start than I wanted, but I just got home. Y'all come on in, let's get some people in here. As you're coming in, hit the like. Proud Masculine live stream, April 25th. I switched the location, and I'm gonna tape from here and stream from here and see how it goes. Or also, we can try doing this. Y'all bear with me here while I'm getting all this stuff set up. How do y'all like the angle? Is that good? Talk to me, Donna. Tell me what y'all think. Try something a little different tonight. Well, well, looky who it is. Beauty. Long time no see, sweetie. All right. MS Doom said, get your shine on. Damien, well, you can't help them all, right? We'll help him out of here, though. Any weird shit, you're going immediately. We don't really do that here. But welcome in if you're not here to do weird shit. DT's in the house. We got the trolls out already, DT. Keep an eye out. Everybody welcome into the Proud Masculine live stream. Let me lower this a bit. I like the upper angle, but I don't feel like looking up the whole time I'm doing this shit. So y'all bear with me a second. It's not bad, huh? Like that? Look good? Good. Let's roll with that. Welcome to the Proud Masculine live stream, April 25th. Get a little bit of a late start, but that's okay. Better late than never. I just got home, literally, so I'm getting on now. Come on in. As you're coming in, smash that like button, or if you're sitting here already, smash that like. Help a oh, I'm not supposed to curse yet. 5 minutes before I can curse. That's what I'm told. Good evening, Bob. I miss you too, beauty. Where you been? You running around on me, huh? Gotta watch them, y'all. You got to watch them close. I'm gonna do like this. Yeah, that's good. That's a nice perspective, isn't it? Yeah, tell me about it. What y'all think of that angle? Good? Come get you. You don't want me coming to get you. You'll never go back, sweetie. I don't want to take you away from everybody. Yo, I'm trying to get this dialed in. So feel free to offer some insight. Yeah, I don't know how to do all this setting up lights, crap, and shit. But, well, good. As far as I can remember, you always work all the time anyway. That's what I like to hear. A job worth doing and a life worth living. So good. How's everybody today? We're getting a late start. We're not going to be on here all night. We're really not this time. We'll get into a little something though. I mean, there's so many things that we could, go over. If anybody has any questions, feel free. Jewelry Inn and Suites is where you can find your girl. All right, bye, Portia. What are you doing staying in a hotel? Anarchy said showed the biceps. How's that? Florida bound, what? Get out of here. That's where I need to be. I ain't been to Florida in 2 years and I want to go bad. All right, Portia said she wants to leave, so we'll help her leave. See ya. The camera is too close. Look, y'all can offer some constructive criticism. I'm not a fucking tech guy or... There, how's that? Is that better? I don't know all the crap about what's what. Y'all feel free to offer anything you can to contribute to the situation. I'll gladly take the advice. No, it's okay. I appreciate the feedback. I don't know anything about this. I just come on here and talk about awesome shit. That's better. That's good. King Toxic said, Kratos, is that you? I've heard that before. I've heard that before once or twice. So, and what about this light? Do I even need the light? Yeah, huh? It's a little too dark in here. That's all right. We're going to leave it just like this. No more adjusting. Billy the Kid. We're located right underneath the interstate, so we stay very busy. Yeah, because that's, am I from Boston? No, I'm not from Boston. Billy the Kid asked, do you believe in God? Who, me? Yeah. Billy, have you ever been in one of my streams? You know the answer to that. Speed Kill said, she said, wish you could visit for real. I wish I could too, sweetie. I ain't got the time. I'm working tomorrow, I'm working Sunday. All next week, I got a crew coming in Tuesday. As soon as the crew's done, they got the guys gonna be wrapping up outside to get out. We gotta paint the whole outside. I'm not gonna have off for a while. Well, thank you, Zombie. Good, Billy. There's no wrong time to find God, brother. And they say, you found him just in time. Yeah, I'd love to get away to Florida for a couple of days, to be honest with you. Much love, Zombie. It's 12 p.m. Yes, walk to the gym. Hey, Stumpy. Mr. Corona. It's all right, Stumpy, we know it's you. It's all good. Regardless how much I may not be able to jump on, I think of you and will always, well, thank you, sweetie. That means a lot. Think about you too. Pin your message. What's up, Lori? So, well, how's everybody doing? Say something. My biggest hobby? That's a good question. I'd have to say jiu-jitsu or fitness. I like it. Gardening. I have a garden. Thank you, Belle. God is good. Hello. Daddy or mommy issues? What effect does this have on both young men and women? Wow. DT comes out firing, I can tell you that. Because that is a long... that is a long answer. We're going to go with one. Daddy issues for men and how that affects men. This isn't long enough to cover mommy and daddy issues for both men and women. Not in any kind of meaningful detail anyway. You could say the obvious things. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll do the obvious. Hold on, I'm going to pin this. Oh, look at that. This is like our third troll tonight. Proud Masculine. Thank you, author. This guy calls himself that alpha nonsense. Yep, you got me, Rose. How did you know? You been in here before? What's up, Nicole? All right. Yeah, man, I'm all about being alpha. You didn't know that? Come on now. Rose Stoner, if that's even who you're. What? What? My watchdog. She hears somebody. What, baby? You want to come say hi? This is the junkyard dog. Look at everybody. You want to say hi? Fancy says hello, everyone. I think she wants a little attention. All right, go down and play with your toys. I'm coming, DT. Thank you, author. Can you give some tips to grow a beard because I want to grow it like you? Yeah, I know. She is adorable. She's as cute as can be. Y'all want to see one of her craziest features? Check this out. Look at her people lips. Look at the lips. Well, you can't really see them, can you? I don't know why she tilts her head up. Look at the camera, baby. She's got lips like a person. It's the freakiest thing if you ever sit and really look at her. That's a peekapoo, a Pekingese and a poodle mix. It's one of these little fancy designer dogs. Yep, Deaf Light. She looks like an Ewok. All right, tips on a beard. Yeah, I've been getting in the sun a lot. I've been in the sun. It's about that time of year here in Louisiana. It's warming up. So when I'm at work and I'm outside, I usually take my shirt off so I don't get the trucker tan, like halfway up my arm with a white. I don't have white shoulders and a white torso and a black head and arms. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of sun. I tan very dark. Most people think I'm Middle Eastern by the end of the summertime. Let's see. I'm going all over the place. Okay, about the beard. Look, all I know is you can, there's a certain beard oil that I actually want to reach out to and promote on my channel. I would hope they would, because a lot of people do ask me about my beard. I don't really do anything special anymore. I just keep it groomed. And I know it's not really groomed right now. I came home from working out and jumped right on here. But, and it also has to do with like your age, your vitamins, your genetics, your nutrition. You know, I've seen people who grow these patchy beards. I think that's really nutrient, or people who are lacking nutrients, I guess. I don't know the word. And there's a case of grooming, high quality vitamin oils that you can add to your face that enriches hair growth. And then also biotin, the vitamin biotin, which also promotes hair growth. That's what I got. And yes, Deaf Light says, do not shave. Yeah, that would help. Thank you, Yoka. Beauty. Rusty Shakerford, I bought shoes from a drug deal this morning. I hope he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day. That's pretty funny. Do you gym to masculine? Yes, I go to the gym. Definitely has to do with your genetics, because not everybody can grow a full beard. What's up, Archer? Long time no see. All right, everybody, back to DT's question. I'm going to pause the chat. DT is the moderator. If y'all have any questions or anything, I'm going to pause the chat here. So if you don't see me answer your stuff, I have the chat on hold. It's not scrolling because I'll get distracted now. DT's asked a really good question. If you have the need to be answered right away or want the floor, put it in a super chat and I'll be happy to jump straight to your question. I'll stop mid-sentence. Or if you want to just donate, put it in a super chat, or there's a donate button somewhere. I don't know how that works. Everything goes back into the channel, by the way. So DTs, daddy and mommy issues, what effect does that have? Here we'll go over the condensed version for men and women, and I'll be going back and forth, so pay attention. First, we'll start off, look at that, 11:11. We'll start off with what not having a masculine figure does to a boy. And when people say daddy issues, this is usually what they mean. If a girl or a guy grew up with the absence of a masculine father or the presence of a weak father, causes issues as you get older. That's the term daddy issues. Usually they say daddy issues in a girl because the dad wasn't around, the dad left, the mom divorced the dad, talked horribly about the dad. You know, y'all know what I'm saying. It's basically an absence of a strong masculine father in the family. Or, you know, an abusive tyrant. You know, there is the other way. Weak to tyrant. I mean, that's neither one of them are good for the growth and development of a family. However, a tyrannical father will raise more stable and better children than a weak father, believe it or not. And here's what the importance of a father in the home. We'll start with the girls. A, she feels safe and protected. With a strong masculine presence at home, not only does he protect and provide for his daughter, which I usually get, I'm fortunate to have a girlfriend who had, and still has, thank God, her father, who did very well leading the family, providing, protecting. These women are much more well-adjusted. They have a tendency to lean on and respect masculinity more so than a girl who hasn't had that around, because she really doesn't know how to respond to that. And so what that does also is it sets an example for the little girl to grow up an idea of what a man is and what a man should do and what a man should be. Typically, you'll see girls search for that father in men, and that's not weird. That's not weird. There always has to be some characteristics of the father, if there was a father in the house, for the lady to respect and fall in love and trust the man. And because you'll notice girls who grew up with a father who was spineless, and the mom ran the household and he answered and deferred to the woman, the girl usually finds some weak-ass dude she can browbeat, shame, and control. And he, oh, yes, dear, one of those guys. Or I better ask the boss. There's a new guy came into jiu-jitsu last night. And people say this shit out loud and they laugh. And I hear it and it's like, cringe. That's the word. Like, what the fuck? It's repulsive. This guy comes in, he wanted to try jiu-jitsu. Matter of fact, I saw him in a parking lot. He's like, hey, is this I said, yeah, come on in, man. Come on in. I'll introduce you to everybody. We'll get you started. My son will be here. He can get you a waiver signed and all that and get you filed away. You'll be straight. Come on in. Well, it turns out he was invited by one of the guys that were there. And I didn't know that. I had no knowledge of that. It's a guy that I don't really know. He's been going there, but he's been off for years. He came back the last couple of weeks. So he comes in, and we have these cubbies where you like kick your shoes off, put your shit in. And so the one guy says to the other guy, the one who invited the guy says to the guy, oh, look, you made it. And you know what this man, I use that term loosely, says? You know what his response was? Yeah, my wife let me come. I'm like, what did you just say out loud? You just told a whole room full of men that you needed your wife's permission to go to jiu-jitsu. How can a woman ever respect a man who asks her permission? That's a symptom of daddy issues, babies. That's what daddy issues look like in men and women. And this is why it's so important. This is why the system doesn't want to see the nuclear family grow and develop. Because with a strong father in the house, the kids aren't susceptible to influence as much. The young men know how to behave young men. The daughters know how to behave like proper young women. As they get older, the son has a role model to copy and raise his son and perform as a man in society, at home, everywhere he is. It's a contribution. And little girls don't date and get impregnated by the drug dealer, criminal, and date guys who are abusive. Because here's one thing about girls with daddy issues that is overwhelmingly miscalculated and very dangerous, is that a guy who's going to be abusive later in a relationship will usually show up in the beginning as like a firm leader. He's not afraid to get what he wants. And she sees in the beginning, when you have the puppy love, like the honeymoon phase chemicals that your body puts out, the serotonin, I can't think of words tonight, y'all. Anyway, when you're falling in love with somebody, it's just a bunch of chemicals. It's an influx of chemicals, binding chemicals and hormones that bring people closer together. And that's the period where, you really have the rose-colored glasses on for the person. You don't really notice, or you don't pay attention to the red flags because you're so overwhelmingly attracted and you want to bond and you want this person. So you kind of let some shit slide. And in the beginning, if you remember when you first meet somebody, like there's nothing you can really do wrong to each other. All you want to do is be together. You want to fuck all the time, and you're sharing all your stuff, and you're snuggling a lot, and you're getting that release of those feel-good chemicals that bond human beings. This is how bonds are formed, and it's biologically on purpose. So, people will stay together and reproduce. Because without that sense of bonding and connection, there's no reason to really stick around once you bust a nut, right? And so in the beginning, a guy who's not afraid to say what he wants, who seems in charge and leadership, is actually like masking a version of control issues, that he's very controlling. And what happens is the young lady who hasn't had a strong masculine father in her life mistakes that for safe leadership. It's just, oh, this guy's amazing. He takes charge. He's not afraid to say what he wants. But what they don't know, what that's developing over time as the honeymoon period begins to end, and you really start exposing yourself, because these abusers are really good at hiding that in the beginning. And especially for a young lady who doesn't have a point of reference, i.e. a strong masculine father, that relationship later turns abusive as the guy starts revealing more and more of himself. And she starts feeling like, no, him wanting to be around me is actually insecurity. He doesn't really love me. And his firm stance and boundaries for high standards are not because he wants the best for me. It's because he's trying to control me. He's trying to trap me. And she'll notice when she starts pulling away, he gets, more full of conflict, and it becomes domineering. There's a difference between domineering and dominant. Total different. But that's often what's misconstrued in the beginning as the dominance. The domineering is misconstrued with dominance, right? And it seems like a healthy form. She feels safe. He seems to have all the answers and all this fun stuff that happens in the beginning. And it's really just disguised tendencies for abuse and anger issues and deep-seated insecurities. What later turns into abusive relationships, which can get very dangerous. And ladies or men, because men get abused, it's just not reported and it's not something that's talked about. Men do suffer from domestic violence encounters. But for us to call the police and say, hey, my 120-pound girlfriend beat me up, they'll just hang up. They're not going to take you serious. Like, come on, man, suck it up. You go to work and say it, you get laughed at. Society doesn't pay attention to that. And what they fail to understand is abuse is an abuse no matter which direction it comes from. Most guys will have the restraint to not do anything back because, physically they overpower a woman severely. And it's not funny. It's not something to be looked at as a weakness if you're a woman. But guys or girls, if you're in an abusive relationship, these people manipulate, the abusers manipulate you into thinking you need them and it's your fault when that happens. It's a game. It's a sick control game. And these people will never let up. It never gets better. Never. It progressively gets worse and worse until you're trapped. And you have had the life sucked out of you and you don't recognize yourself. Your identity has been shifted into whatever this person has molded you into. So that's one side effect of daddy issues, not having a strong masculine father. And if a young man was brought up with a single mom, let's say the mom was abusive, what do you think this young man's going to be like in a relationship? First off, a strong masculine presence in the home displays calm, centered, emotionally, mentally, spiritually centered. A great sense of humor, a positive outlook, a protective atmosphere, a provided for atmosphere. You have a problem solver. You have a go-getter. And you have somebody who can resolve conflict by staying calm, looking at it for what it is and not getting emotionally involved, because that's what women do. Women react on their emotions. And that's how they built, that's how they designed. Men can't afford to do that. And it's not a good look for men when you react emotionally, because now what you've proven to this woman and your family that you're going to act like a girl when you get pushed off your center a little bit. And so immediately the woman loses trust because she's dependent on you to act like a man. Now, let me make this clear. There's a difference between disrespect and a woman being a woman. There is a difference. But that's up to the guy who's had a healthy father and a healthy family role model to look after to be able to distinguish between the two. And if you have a young man who hasn't had that and who's been raised by a creature who does react on her emotions and is very emotional and makes emotional decisions and emotionally reacts, what do you think that young man's going to grow up like? Yeah, you're right. Just like that. And you want to know how I know? Because I was raised by a single mother and I went through that. I battled that for years. Fortunately, throughout my life, I've had opportunities to intersect with different men, masculine role models along the way. And I didn't realize how meaningful the experiences were until I later looked back and reflected on after I'd done a ton of work on myself. And it took a lot of work to reach that point where I am a useful man in a relationship. I do remain, most of the time, I'm not 100%, nobody is, calm, centered. Think of it like this. A woman is a storm and the man is the mountain. Women are chaos, men are calm. And that's not an insult. That's not degrading at all. That's just the way it is. But there's a reason why the man and a woman fit so well together and have such an attraction to each other, because it's the polarity that exists. When a woman can get upset and raise hell and a guy can sit there calmly and say, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Talk to me. Well, you, this and that, I had a hard day at work. Come here, baby. And pay attention to what I'm saying. Come see, baby. She comes in, she's venting, you hug her a little bit, you pet her, and you tell her, well, look, you handled that good. You did the best you could. But look, you're home now. Don't worry about that. Let's have a nice night. Come on, take your socks off. I'll rub your feet. You know, something along those lines. Something to just defuse, redirect, and de-escalate. And in order for you to do that, you have to stay calm, centered, and focused. When she's losing her shit, you can't lose your shit. And that's how it should be a majority of the time. Even the best of us are going to slip sometimes. I do it. But it's not my default setting. I don't automatically jump into, what do you mean? And get angry and start shouting back and getting defensive. And that's like a last resort. And that doesn't even have to be a resort. It doesn't have to be attended to at all. But it does happen, is my point. And so woman is a storm, the man is a mountain. He's immovable. So guess what that signals to her? And this is why a masculine role model is so important in the home, is that when she was a little girl, she used to be outside and little Billy would pull her hair. She'd come around inside, daddy, daddy, and jump on his lap and, daddy, Billy pulled my hair. And he's like, oh, sweetheart. That's what little boys do when they like you. He's just being silly. Give her a kiss on the forehead, pat her on the butt, see her back outside. Oh, thank you, daddy. And she runs off all happy again. That's the effect of a strong masculine man on a woman. Whether she's a little girl or a grown man, you wind up in the same place. You get the same result. You know, I've been guilty in the past where my ex-wife would come to me with a problem or an issue, or have something about it, and I would get defensive. I'd start pointing fingers and blaming back and da-da-da. And before you know it, it's like you got two people emotionally charged. The problem is so far away from being solved. There's nothing getting done. At this point, all you're really doing is serving to act like her. A man who steps into his girl's frame can't be trusted by her. She's got to have the trust, and the way women get trust over time and security and that certain amount of comfort that's necessary is by them being able to challenge you a bit and you not reacting. You just staying calm. You don't get emotionally charged at all. And a young man who's had a strong masculine role model is able to see that and internalize that as he's growing up and model that as, okay, well, that's what I'm supposed to do if me and Nancy ever get into an argument. That's how I'm supposed to act. And what you'll also see is the dad who either blows up back at her and starts screaming like her, and then any possibility for resolution is out the window at that point. Or the dad who cowers down. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean it. I'll never do it again. That ain't good either. Because guess what happens to the guy when he gets older, or the girl who grew up seeing that? What is her husband in for, you know? And then it's just there. The importance is there's the balance. The father gets to represent the strength and the reason at home. The mother represents warmth, love, compassion, right? The father needs to be there to do the hard shit that the mom doesn't like to do, and that's be the disciplinarian. Fortunately, I was the disciplinarian in my marriage. I was able to be there to provide my son with the balance and understanding, like, no, you're not getting away with that. No, I said you're not playing your video game. I mean it. Don't touch it. He could get over on his mom. He couldn't get over on me. And when he needed to, I'd whip his ass with a belt. If he got in trouble at school, he'd get a couple licks on the ass, nothing terrible. But do you know how hard that was for me to do that, to see my son crying while I'm whipping him? But I didn't do it from a place of anger. I did it from a place of love, to help him understand action, consequence, action, consequence. But I did as well reward great behavior from him. And, I'm proud to say I have a healthy, mature, strong son, 21 years old, who's a beast. And he's one of the kindest, warmest people you'll ever meet in your life. I promise. I'm not saying that because he's my son. So, I mean, those are just a few examples. So you get to see both children, a boy and a girl, get to see what a strong masculine role model is in life. A little girl has a good positive model and a reference point to look to for when she starts dating and eventually wants to start a family. And the young man has the same benefit, how to lead his family. The absence of a father leaves a big gap, a big void there. And it can be quite destructive for young men and young ladies to go out into the world and want to date and start a family, especially in today's society when they got things so mixed up, where they're trying to pussify men and masculinize women at the rate they're going. I mean, people are starting to wake up and realizing that they don't like it. And you'll see my generation that went through the dissolving of the nuclear family. You see people later in life are talking about it more. The people who've actually been through it can say, look, don't fall for it. It's bullshit. Ladies, you don't have to be a boss babe. You don't have to go get your career, sleep with a bunch of guys. And this is the ladies that come out and say, there's the ladies of my age in their 40s and 50s who are lonely now because they didn't secure a good mate when they had the tools, which is youth and beauty, fertility. And because that's what men want. Men don't care about if you have a degree. Men don't care if you have a big 4-bedroom house with, nice cars and, top of the line electronics. Men don't care about that shit. That doesn't impress me. And no men I know really go for that. Well, I know a couple who do, I'm lying. But they don't understand. On the other hand, women do honor and respect that. And what happens is this woman doesn't have a sure representation of what a strong man, a provider, protector really is. So women think, well, I like successful men who have things and have money and have a great personality and they're funny and they're loud so I'll act like that and I'll be able to get the man because I'll relate to the man. And that's the farthest from the truth. They've been lied to. A loud, obnoxious woman is absolutely repulsive to me. A woman who's, quote, just one of the guys, nothing. I want a sweet, feminine, supportive, compliant, submissive wife. And I wouldn't give a shit if she was a cashier. She doesn't have to have 5 degrees and a Maserati. Don't need it. I'll provide us what we need. You come along. A woman won't do that for a man. A millionaire won't go date a guy cashier and set him up and help him through things. And that's just the reality of it. But this is why you need a woman in the house, a man and a woman in the house, a strong masculine role model, to be an example where the woman who's had children and raises children and stays home and tends to the home, the man buys the house, the mother makes it home for everybody. Women are the glue in families. And they've left out the most important parts of being a woman in society. Without women, it's a little bit of a disarray. I also knew single dads. My brother's a single father. And there's just things he can't offer the family that needs. He's all about get it done, no excuses, I don't want to hear it, And he's got a daughter. It's the sweetest thing. But he tells me, I don't know what to do with girls. And, unfortunately, he made some bad decisions and got with a nut job. So, the mom is the glue to the family. A mom is the one who teaches the kids compassion. Love, compassion, warmth. While the dad's got to be the one kicking ass and taking names. Going out slaying the dragons, bringing home the dinner. Like when I lived by myself, you could tell a dude lived there. I didn't have anything spectacular going on. I didn't decorate. I didn't have the little towels that say, home sweet home and love is where the home is, a heart is where the home is, whatever. And little reminder that there's a soft feminine presence in the house. Like I came home, that was my lair. That wasn't my sanctuary. That was my lair. And it was there as a function to have a roof over my head and a place for me to sleep. That was it. I didn't care about all the other stuff. And if y'all have ever dated, you notice once you get with a woman and you start getting closer and she starts coming around more, you start seeing shit change around your own apartment. You get the little toothpaste cup with the flowers on it. All of a sudden you got a picture of, some seagulls on the ocean, whatever the theme is. My lady loves art. They got art and, different things like that all around. It changes the whole dynamic. And there's a reason for that, because that's what women often. Women nest. They make a house a home. They make it more than just a dwelling. It's now a sacred space because she's there tending to it. And then the dad provides the security, she provides the warmth. Don't you see how amazing that is and how important it is in a young child's life to have those two ingredients growing up and going into the world, to feel already secure, which does what? It raises self-esteem. These young kids get to build a self-esteem because they're protected and they're sure of themselves, rather than being anxious and scared growing up, like something's missing. And going out into the world like that. Why do you think so many people are medicated these days? This country is the most heavily medicated country for mental illnesses on the planet as a result of breaking up the nuclear family. But then it goes deeper than that. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to put my tinfoil hat on tonight. But yeah, that's just some of the things. And when it comes to romance and dating and relationships, it can be fixed over time if there was an absence of masculinity and calm in somebody's life. It takes a lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of self-work, inner work, deep. And it takes time to work through that stuff, because all men at their core have a masculine center and all women at their core have a feminine center. And no matter who you are, the best of us, some of those characteristics will remain no matter what, no matter how you were raised or what you were conditioned to believe. Some of that will be, but it won't be the prominent characteristics of a man or a woman's personality. It'll be the dysfunction that comes out, mostly, with glimpses of their true selves. The point being that you can do the right work, the adequate work, to shed the layers of dysfunction and really tap into that core feminine or core masculine. And that's why I have this channel. This is what I work on. And it's critical in relationships that they do have that disparity. There needs to be a masculine and a feminine polarity. That's what attraction is. That's what forms attraction at its core, is the polarity, is the differences. And there's a reason why men are different. It's complementary differences. Just like I said, the mother's role and the father's role, it's a complement. It's meant to be complementary, not adversarial. It's not meant to turn women against men because they can do everything a man can do. And it's not men against women because men, you need to express your feelings more and don't be afraid. That's a lie. That's a lie. So I hope that answered. I'm going to get into this chat a minute. J-Man, what's up? Kevin, Albanian. No, I'm not Albanian. Your Beauty, you must have been saying this early on. She said, yes, sir, couldn't agree with you more. What a great message. Billy the Kid said, even though I hate my dad, the only thing I learned was to never to back down. That's a great quality. And I've inherited some of my dad's stronger traits too as well. Yeah, right, DT, that's kind of what it sounded like. I can't, men who ask women to, they have other guys who after jiu-jitsu will go eat. And he's like, wait, let me ask the boss. Baby, look, some of the guys are going, I can hear him, baby, some of the guys are going, do you mind if I stop? We're not going to be long. I'm like, dude, just stay home. Go home. I don't even want to be around people like that. And the fact that it is, and the shame of it is, there's more men that are like that. So they group up and say, oh, you're an asshole, huh? I guess. Because they let their wives wear the pants. So they got to kind of use each other to reinforce and support each other's crappy belief and operating system. Like, oh, he doesn't understand. That's why he's not married. They say shit like that. It doesn't bother me because, and there's other stuff that goes along with that. But David, 1,000%. Richard Andrew Crosby, facts. Bryson said 100%. Couldn't have said it any better. Jillian, I'm a boy, but honestly cry about it. Billy the Kid, is there a difference between an absent father and an alcoholic or angry one? Yeah. I think I kind of explained that on accident along the way. What's up, Orion the Goat? Back in, huh? Beauty said, I got a double shift tomorrow, Joe. Gonna lay it down. I always know I'm around and love you. I'll never forget you. May God continue to keep and bless you and your family, truly. Well, thank you, sweetheart. The beautiful Beauty, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I didn't miss you and you get to hear me tell you good night. Good to see you. I'm gonna pen that message. Bryson agreed. Mr. Wonderful says agreed. A woman with a degree is undateable. Sunita Raj says hi. Hey, Sunita. Demina in the house. My girl put me on child support even though I was clearly giving her money monthly anyways for my kid. That's what happens, dude. I don't know, what does my dad beat me mean? This dude is for sure a bodybuilding misker. I guess so. Tripathi, Mr. Wonderful, 99-cent super chat. That one piece. Much love, brother. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Let's get some W's in the chat for Mr. Wonderful. Super chat. Vincent said, alcoholic, angry fathers complicate things wildly in ways that absence can't be compared to aptly. Mr. Wonderful is dying alone. Holy incel core. I'm in the manosphere too deep for sure. I don't know what any of that means. So good. DT, are you still on here? My mod, DT, anybody see him? Yeah, I think it's awesome that, men get on the internets and disguise themselves to talk shit about people who sincerely care and want to make a difference. That's very appealing. When I say there's an absent father in the home, this is the kind of men you get. Sarcastic, passive-aggressive, guys who like to pick on other men trying to make a difference because they can hide behind a screen and then attempt to get an emotionally charged reaction out of another man. That's one of the issues of not having a strong father at home. Well, DT, did that answer your question? We're not going to go on much longer anyway, so a simple yes or no will do. Obviously, I didn't cover every base in great detail. We just don't have the time for that. I could do a video series on that, and explain each one's and the differences and the importance. Billy the Kid said, I appreciate you. I appreciate your streams. You're the masculine voice. Well, thank you, brother. You're a good dude, Billy. I know you're young. You're a good dude. And thank you for the support, man. That's a wonderful compliment. I truly appreciate it. It's the whole reason I started this brand is to, if you can look around and see the true destruction that was caused by the absence of masculinity. What's up, D-Rock? I see you, man. And you can really look in society and see what the result is of having the absence of strong masculine figures in the home. And it's going way beyond, the simple surface things. It's had a very, very deep and awful effect on society at large by breaking up the family the way God intended it to be. There's a reason it takes a man and a woman to create a life. There's the balance in there. Simpatico. And it shows up in life, and you can see it. And what it's done in society is reprehensible. it is fixable. And I think even the younger people are starting to look more into, well, that that's not what this, the narrative society is shoving down their throats is not what they want. Fortunately, they have enough good people who came out on the other end, or good people who have experienced both sides of the destruction of the nuclear family and being able to do what is necessary to get themselves in order to attract their healthy counterpart and put a family together and see the result. And that, you know, we have the means to reach out to the whole world where they get to send the message. And, you know, they have people that are being honest and coming out and telling them the downfall of that. So I think people are really starting to understand that what society's narrative is pushing over the last 50 years, this feminism bullshit, is not what they want, the men or the women. And you're starting to see this in younger people, which is good. That's a great sign. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if this is overlooked or not, but I noticed this immediately, is that a strong masculine figure like Donald Trump taking the lead in the country again. He is a prime example of what a strong masculine leader looks like. You don't ever see him blowing up and getting mad and getting angry and pointing fingers and yelling. This dude's slick. He navigates through problems. He doesn't get overwhelmed. He doesn't get startled. He can't even be stumped. This dude flows like water off a duck's back, slick as owl shit. And that's a great example for these young men to see what a real leader and a masculine figure looks like and how he performs and how he moves through life. It's important that young men see that. And young women. You know, that woman, that dude, you know how many women think how sexy he is because of his power? Like, ooh, I like that. Something about him. I don't know what it is. Well, that's it. That's the secret sauce. Oh, all right. Obviously, Vincent is not going to say anything worthwhile in here, so. Yeah, golly, that guy's a headache. And that's what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. It's people like that who sit there, chat, 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 with nothing to say. No original thought. So, but that's the people I'm talking about. And that's what it looks like. And that's why it's important. I encourage young men, work on yourself. Do what you got to do to reach your full masculine potential. Go start a family. Go find a woman and a family you can lead and build. And if you're in a mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy place, the only thing you're going to attract, like attracts like. And you'll be attracting a like-minded partner who can receive what you truly have to offer. And not be bitchy all the time, not be a handful, not question your authority, but be cooperative and help you build and be there in that role. Because you can play the role. That's why it's so important if you're having some problems, if you're noticing some things while you're young, confront it, do something about it. That's what this whole brand, my whole channel was built on. Now, you know, most men come to me for dating and relationship advice. But the work that's done in the private sessions is all has to do with revealing your masculine core, your potential as a man and what you have to offer and why it's so important and attractive to you, society at large, and women, and how much of a major positive impact you can have on your own life and lives around you if you have that squared away. So I can't overstate enough how important it is that this is something that's addressed and brought back to the forefront. And before I go any further, I'm going to say the glory goes to God. I give God the credit. It isn't me. The changes I've made in the life I've created is by the hand of God. This is why I'm on YouTube talking about it. I do believe it was a calling to help be a part of spreading that message. And that's my part in it. I feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment doing this. When I hear people, when I get thank yous and express gratitude for, things I've done and said, and, my clients, my private clients, that feels amazing. It's awesome. Billy the Kid said, modern movies kind of show how society has changed, pushing girl boss BS and weak man tropes. Yeah, absolutely has. Big time. Anything you turn on now, the white guy's usually the villain or the dumbass who's got no spine, and the woman's got a short haircut and she's a boss bitch. And she takes control and she's the assassin who goes and gets vengeance and, conquers. It's just not believable. But if you grow up from a little kid seeing that constantly being pounded in your head, like Disney movies and love songs, it's all bullshit. And this is what happens to men who buy into that shit, who grew up in front of a TV being programmed by the mass media, the elite. And they're pretty close to having mission accomplished. We got some nasty shit in society to unfuck, especially in the dynamics of men and women. But that'll come. Just keep at it. And I was having this discussion with somebody earlier, like, lead by attraction, not promotion. Like, I see these guys who get on in like, you gotta come see me, and I have a Lamborghini, and I bang 10 chicks a week, and that's attraction. Promotion is getting on here, speaking from your life experience, speaking from the heart, speaking about the things that you went through and where you're at now and how you got there is attractive. You attract people. They want to know, well, what did you do? How did you do that? Hit me up, Billy the Kid, on an email. We'll talk about that. I think it's on my website, the price. But get me up in a DM or an email. We'll talk. And that's it, y'all. I don't know really what more I can say about this tonight, even though there's a lot more to be said. But I might even do a video series on this, about the effects. That's a great topic. DT has always got killer topics. Always. I love when he comes in a chat, when he has time. DT, y'all, is my very first moderator when I started 2 years ago. I would do just a Wednesday night live stream. He was one of the first people in there, offered to be a mod, and he's been to nothing but contributing to this channel as a moderator. And he always asks some useful questions, especially from a perspective of a man, that's the reason. I know we have women that come on here who support the channel, and I love it. That's amazing. I love that they have women who support and are on board. Particularly my usual regulars, ladies that come in here who live by the example of a woman that I spoke about in my discussion. And that's it. So my whole point to that person was, do you want to make a difference? If you want to make a difference, start with yourself. That's where the change starts. You're not going to affect anything around you and in the world if you don't even have anything to offer in that department. So you want to see things change yourself, and let the rest unfold. So, well, that's it, y'all. Thanks. Let's see. Take this clown out of here, clown. You leave this man a like and subscribe. There you go. I was just about to say it, Bryson. If you have not yet, hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Listen, I have a Telegram group because I'm having some complications with the network here. I'm not going to say its name. Join the Telegram, and I put the link to the live every night that I go live. I drop it in Telegram, you get the notification, and you know I'm on. Sometimes my notifications don't show up, even if you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Long story, not going to get into it. Awesome, Bryson. Thank you. The link is in the description. Also, my Instagram, if you want to get me for coaching, all that is available in the description. And the memberships. Join the channel as a member. I'd love to have you. I could use the support. It's one of the things that they look at that helps grow and put the channel out there in the algorithm is memberships, super chats, that kind of stuff. Comments in the videos and all, it all helps greatly. Money says, if I saw you in the street, bro, you would have to run the fade GR. I don't speak moron, dude. If you got something to say, just say it. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, y'all, thank you. It was a great stream. DT, thank you for the topic, brother. That was awesome. Everybody, Billy the Kid, Bryson, you know, we had Beauty coming here. Everybody else who joined and participated, thank you so much. And with that, I'm out. See you on the next one tomorrow night.